man, so Fantom up 1.2% whilst Bitcoin is relatively flat on the day, but it's falling out from a rising broadening wedge pattern, which I have to share with you. I have to share with you the key levels I'm seeing on the charts, plus what are the wider catalysts this week, which could be driving the Fantom price a little bit lower and give us another buying opportunity. Make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. We're going to get straight into this chart pattern. And as always, guys, if you want to trade any of these moves, if you want to buy any crypto on spot as well, you can do so using BYBIT or BitGet. Links in the description to the two exchanges which I use. Those are affiliate links and they do support the channel, everybody. So please do consider using those platforms. Now, we're in this rising broadening wedge, which I've been sharing with you. And we know this is a bearish continuation pattern. So you're very likely to continue the pattern from which you entered. So you entered in a bearish trend and you expect more times than not you're going to break to the bottom. Now, the last few days when we've been covering Fantom, I said that I was a little bit worried that we're spending too much time in the bottom half of this rising wedge. And when you start to see this, when you see that you're hugging the bottom support line for a little bit too long, that gets you worried that this rising broadening wedge is getting ready to break to the downside. And you can see we're getting that breakdown right now, and I'm going to give you the exact levels to watch out for. Now, for this to have been nullified, we had to get past the halfway line. We had to start working our way up, but the wider macro economy was not allowing that to happen. Bitcoin, as we can see, is falling from its own pattern, right? So if I show you the Bitcoin chart, you can see that Bitcoin is having its own troubles here, trying to hold on desperately to this channel it's in, right? It's now back into its symmetrical triangle. If you want to look at it from the symmetrical triangle pattern from which we initially broke out, we then broke down from this descending triangle, and now we're trying to hold on at this level. But what is the market fearful about? It's fearful about a bunch of different things, including the CPI reading, which we get tomorrow. That is the much anticipated CPI reading, because if inflation comes in too high, to put that into perspective, currently we're sitting at 8.6%. If this comes in tomorrow with a 9 handle, or 8.9, 9.1, 9.2, those kind of figures, and if core inflation, more importantly, doesn't show that it's inflecting downwards, we could be seeing a red market. And these downward scenarios, which I'm going to be sharing with you, could become reality over the next 24 hours or even less, really. So you need to be paying attention to this. You can already see that the markets have all but priced in a 75 basis point rate hike because they are expecting inflation to come in hot. Everybody's saying it. If you watch my video from earlier today, I break down the macroeconomics on my Bitcoin video in more detail. Take the time to go watch that video, even if it's in 1.5 times speed or 2 times speed. If you can keep up with me, then go and watch that over there, because it does give you the breakdown of what's going on in this macro economy. Now, 7% of people have now priced in a full percentage point, 100 basis points increase in the interest rate. Okay, Jerome Powell ruled this out, but the market's going ahead and starting to price that in themselves. So in other words, the market is in top of inflation, and the prices you're seeing now are reflecting a couple of moves ahead, right? So they're already reflecting that the Fed is going to go ahead, do 75 basis points, and then in the September meeting, they've already priced in that they're going to do their next rate hike. 83% of the market is already priced in that there's going to do another 50 basis points thereafter. Okay, so they've priced it in. In the next meeting, they think that after that, you're going to see another 25 basis points. So they've gone ahead and priced in these rate hikes. And clearly the market thinks it's going to take a couple of months before inflation inflects down. So then, what is the next catalyst? Well, again, I explained this in the video earlier, but the next catalyst on the mind are earnings. And since that video earlier, PepsiCo came out giving earnings. They've kicked off earnings season, and they actually beat. They had really good earnings. They beat on their bottom line earnings, and they beat on revenue as well. But more importantly, remember I said you have to look at the future projections, and PepsiCo came in positive. They said they're raising their revenue outlook for the year, which is very, very interesting. But can this trend carry on with other companies? Very, very unlikely. Most people are expecting demand to show some softening, therefore revenue starting to soften, inflation really starting to take an impact on margins, and expecting a lot of companies to start revising their projections down, indicating a global slowdown. So that's what markets are starting to price in. That's why we're seeing the market soften a little bit. That is why we're seeing the 10-year yield go up. And remember, when the 10-year goes up, that is a reflection when the 10-year goes down and the bond prices go up, that is a reflection that people are rotating across to the safety. Risk is going off. But remember, risk off is bad for crypto. And if you want to take a quick look, let's quickly plot this. Let me go over to the daily chart here and do this with you guys. So as you can see, there's a clear correlation. As soon as bond yields start to come down, that allows crypto to go for a run. And as soon as these yields are going up, you can see what impact that is having on crypto. Okay, so when risk goes off, crypto falls to the downside. And that is something we're able to see here from this representation. Now, coming back to Fantom, what are those key levels we're looking out for? We're breaking down from this rising wedge. Now, you can see, once we've broken down, what are the technical targets? Well, the technical measured move can take you all the way down to 15 cents. Now, that gives you confluence with the 15-cent horizontal support line we've had for a long time here, which dates back to the summer of 2021 when Fantom was in its cup and handle pattern, okay? So that's the confluence we've got at the 15 cents mark. But before then, you can see a little bit of support coming in. You can see we're getting a little bit of bounce at this first pivot point. This first pivot point sits at about 24 cents. That's where we're fighting for now. That's acted as really good support for Fantom. You can then see that the next level of support will need to come in at around 21 cents. And if you lose that, then you could be working your way to the bottom of the wedge at 19 cents. But again, if this move is a little bit more powerful, in other words, if I show you the equivalent wedge on Bitcoin, if I just zoom out here, you can see this is the pattern we're in here on Bitcoin, okay? So as you can see with Bitcoin, I know this chart is messy. You've had consolidation, you fall, you have a consolidation, you fall, you consolidate, and then you're expecting another big fall. So if Fantom does the same thing here, we could be expecting a bigger move down towards 15 cents, and that is what we need to prepare for here from a technical basis. But for me, this just indicates another really good opportunity to be buying the dip on Fantom, okay? Definitely, if you guys don't have a position, for me, not financial advice, it's a great time to be entering. If you've just jumped in and you're seeing a project like Fantom, which you're getting at prices you've not seen, you know, for well over a year, and yet it's made so much progress. I mean, if you look at the TVL on Fantom sitting, I mean, the level of TVL, because of the frightenedness of the markets, is now sitting at levels where the TVL was back in September of 2021. But in between, we cannot forget that Fantom was one of the biggest projects, sitting over $10 billion in total value locked. So we know once the market picks up, Fantom will definitely want to not just get back to that 10 billion level, but also surpass that with good strength. Now, we can also see that the Fantom is really improving on one of the core weaknesses. For those of you who remember when I had Simone Pomposi on, the CMO of Fantom, also when I had the CEO Michael Kong on, I'll link those videos up so you can watch those long form interviews with the founders. I put to them that one of the weaknesses, one of the common criticisms of Fantom is it's not decentralized enough. And as you can see, they noted that, they answered that very candidly and said it is something they are actively working on to make it less prohibitive for people to spin up a node. And as you can see now, they've made really good progress with this. Now 7,300 plus nodes across 60 plus countries. And having spoken to Michael Kong, I know that this is just the start for them and they will want to continue to improve this. Also, take a look at the active addresses on the Fantom network, and you can see again it's just continually going from strength to strength. Yes, the rate of change is decreasing, but you're well over 3.3 million addresses. And again, to put things into perspective, September of 2021 was sitting at 750,000 addresses. So they've done over a 4x here in the matter of less than a year, which is incredible growth here from Fantom. Also, we can take a look at the number of daily transactions. And again, Fantom is really showing some good strength here. Even in this bear market, the number of people actually going and using Fantom, they've got the second highest 24-hour transactions of every chain. So just Binance Smart Chain outbeating it there, but ahead of Polygon, ahead of Ethereum, ahead of Harmony, Avalanche, Optimism, the layer 2 roll up as well. Really good strength. And again, just testament to the fact that people want to use it. And that's the experience I had when I first used Fantom, was you just wanted to continue using it. It was a joy to use. It was fast, it was cheap, it was reliable, and you just wanted to use it. And I think that's what's starting to relate here. So overall, really tricky market. We know a lot to look out for on the macro front. You've got the CPI reading, you've got the Michigan sentiment report coming out on Friday. You've got earnings in between from Delta Airlines to many of the major banks as well. It's going to be a rocky one. We're expecting Bitcoin to continue to break down from that pattern, that wedge, which it continues to do. If that happens, Fantom could be getting back to that 21, 20, maybe even the 15 level. And if it does, I may have to start nibbling, and I'll keep you guys updated in the Telegram, links in the description, as well as the Discord. As always, guys, don't forget to smash up the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Check out BYBIT and BitGet. If you want to trade, do check those out. If you already have an account with them, set up another one because it supports the channel. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Don't forget to watch this video here, and I'll see you in the next one.